Everyone lives, everyone dies. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alive. So why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Alright, isn't it time, brother, stop time? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, in peace. Everyone lives, everyone dies. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is there war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Make peace, make peace, peace. Alright, isn't it time, brother, stop time? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, in peace. Alright, make peace, peace together. Peace.
Good day, good evening, good afternoon, folks. Thank you for joining me on Between Two Worlds Shadow Chasing program. And we are busy, and I just got in, hurrying myself together here because I know I got real late. Oh man, it's been nuts. Gathering information. We got some pretty exciting things going on. Pat King, number one. November the 5th is not too far off, folks, because today is November the 3rd, and people are actually yelling out loud, "It's snowing!" So there's so many things happening in our Canadian provinces, as well as Ottawa. I laughed so hard. There is a young lady or people saying that there's going to be a convoy arriving in Ottawa again, and that the convoy had just arrived. So basically, said, "Oh, we secretly came in without not informing anybody. We decided to bring our convoy and showed up here in Ottawa." And everybody's going like, "What? You already there?" Go, "Yeah, we're here." So apparently, the police officers were informed that the convoy was there. They're running up and downtown Ottawa looking for the truckers. And they couldn't find anyone. Maybe one trucker, but he was just unloading to a restaurant. So they went a little bit further, and close to the parliamentary building were people gathered in the area of maybe 20 or 30. And so the officer wanted to find out what's going on. There's a little bit of a scrimmage and wanted to find out what the situation's about. And here, lo and behold, as he got closer to the group, there's actually a bunch of toys that children would be playing with, or should be playing with, sitting on top of this concrete barrier, lined up the toys, and um, that was their convoy. They're actually all their trucks. They look like semi trucks. A convoy in Ottawa was there. There must have been about 12, 14 those long trucks, toy trucks in Ottawa, and they just to make fools out of the city and the federal government. They've said they were there, and they're still determined, because what as I understand it now, there's going to be another convoy. Yes, folks, there's talk about that now. But I think they may be waiting until Pat King is out. But as far as what I understand, they had the court proceedings right now as we speak, and they have the government. I'll tell you one thing: when the government has its own lawyers, they try so hard to cut and paste Pat King's audio and video editorials, and they've looked for everything relates to Pat King on video, maybe for the last 5 6 years before the COVID ever showed up. Yeah, they're after him, and they're making darn sure that they destroy him. And I'm laughing my rear end off, because Pat has to explain himself to each and every category, but they added all the categories into one lump sum, saying that he was a racist, that he was a fascist, that he was a illegal liberator, he was the worst in Canada, that he was actually they labeled him as the first Canadian terrorist, and that the federal government wants him behind bars for the next 10 years. Not all of the government, the Liberal Party. They want to make a martyr of Pat King. Martyr? I would say they want to make Pat King the worst person in the world. They're trying to put a scare. What the federal government is trying to do is put a scare in every other person that doesn't even understand what freedom really means. And so when Trudeau had created this one law that supposedly shut down the whole world, and he was trying so hard, I keep calling him fake Trudeau, they're trying so hard to destroy his reputation, Pat King's reputation. And Pat King even said in court, He's not allowed to say this. He's not allowed to say that. He's not allowed to say this. And they were saying, why? Because legally, I'm not supposed to be here. Do you know that Pat King's not even allowed to talk about his stories, about his life on any social network? If he's seen on any social network, he goes back behind bars. If anybody promotes Pat King's videos, old videos, on social network, that you're banned from Facebook or any other social network because they're making him a terrorist of Canada. Pat King was only a road guy. His job was to take care of maybe 50 trucks. That's it. But Pat King also was a person that was giving everybody a heads up what's going on. He's on Facebook more often doing live. He had people on some of his own personal shows, his own podcasts. He was busy. He was bringing people in by the thousands, not a couple of hundred, not 20 or 30. And then this one lawyer even tried to challenge Pat King and saying, oh, there's only a couple of hundred people that showed up at this event, the truckers' convoy. And Pat King goes, why do you lawyers lie? You know they came here by the thousands. And the guy even tried to challenge Pat. He said, all I saw was a couple of hundred. He says, I did the research. And Pat's going, he's challenging him. Pat King says, no, you didn't. You didn't challenge, you didn't find nothing. And he says, he even challenged them and said, well, thank you for all the cut and paste. You cut and paste everything, and they were even code numbers. They code numbers each individual story about Pat King. Anything he said that they wanted to make it derogatory. They wanted to make him look like a bad guy, even saying that he was a racist to Indigenous people. Pat King's Indigenous himself. But they're trying to make it he was Indigenous, that he was a racist, so they cut and paste his voice and put pieces in to make it look as if he was the bad guy. Right? Now, Pat King said words, but he was trying to clear the story about what was going on because he was mad. But this is 6-7 years ago. Okay, 6-7 years ago, he's trying to be outspoken about something. He was trying to clear up things. Say, look, we're sick and tired of China taking control our country. That's what he was trying to say. This is what the whole story is about. He did not want to see China take over the country. This guy's done his research like a lawyer. He's even better than the lawyer himself. Pat King has got documents, proof that he could put Trudeau behind bars. He could put the whole Liberal Party behind bars. But they want him out of the way, and they want to see his files. Pat King's, no, you ain't going to see those. Not till I decide to release them. Because you have to be good and ready to do it. They wanted everything, and in fact, what I understood, they went into Pat King's house and looked for anything and everything they can to vindicate him as a really bad guy. His own home. He had a home invasion by the CSIS. That's why he's in silence. They can't. He's unable to say or do anything. But you got to remember, folks, your freedoms are being taken away from you by a group of misogynist liberal government, because they're the problem. They're the troublemakers. They're not doing something that's good for your country. They're doing it to destroy your country. Oh, mind you, they'll help out other ethnic backgrounds if that's going to benefit them. Yes, they'll be your best friend. Oh, they'll help you through and through. But if you don't benefit them, pardon me, they'll destroy you. They'll just totally ignore you. If you're not worth it, they'll destroy you. Or if you consider it a bit of a threat, they'll destroy you. That's just the way they are. So it gets to be the point that Pat King, and if you actually watch his videos, it's on my page, on my Facebook page. Have a look at the videos, folks. This is day 18 or 19. Now, apparently, they're going to bring up a few more people as witnesses. Here's what I don't understand. They're trying to make him look like he's the worst guy in the world. Okay. As I said before, and they're trying to destroy him. But there's some other people out there, and also what really gets me is that they're saying that there was a whole bunch of flags that flew coming in off these trucks that had all to do with um, or that were racist, but there weren't any flags that were flying off a truck. One person showed up wearing a swastika flag, carrying a swastika flag, but he was part of Antifa. He just walked right in and started flying the flag. That was Antifa. But CBC, the Chinese Broadcasting Corporation, whatever you want to call them, or Chinese Communism Corporation, or Communistic Corporation, whatever how you want to say it, here and there. But CBC is told to lie to you, and they were there, and they were focusing on that person. So that person was coming from different directions, carrying a flag. They say, okay, you go over here. Okay, you go over here. You go over here. Okay, you go over here. And that's what they did. One person's flag. And then what did Pat King do? When he saw that, his group of people went over and told him they had to leave. And then CBC got upset because he was told that guy was told to leave. And then they told CBC to get out of there, to leave. What CBC do? They made the story bigger than what it was. Okay. Corlin says, Tamara Leach had me in tears today. Yes, she was there as a witness in court as well. So it's getting it's getting crazier and crazier as we watch it. The emphasis is that they want to make this whole convoy. What Trudeau's people is doing, the Liberal Party is trying to do, is make it illegal to protest. They're making it illegal to protest. They're making it illegal, or also they're trying to pass a law that's illegal to make it. If you don't agree with the federal government, then you're a terrorist, or suspected terrorist, and they want to turn you in and you go to jail. They're already doing it in New Zealand. They want the neighbors to rat on each other. They're asking the neighbors to rat on each other to turn somebody in if they are against the government or against the government's wishes. This is in New Zealand, and they want to do this all across the world. And this is what the Liberal Party wants to do. They want to do the same thing. They want to do it where they can actually stop you from speaking up, speaking out, and if you are involved by any means, traveling with them on another convoy or any other whatever how you protest, and if you're seen on site, they're going to bring out the heavies. They're going to bring out these SWAT team, full covered. They're not military. They look like an RCMP, full geared, ready to come after you, whatever. Okay. So, I mean, don't forget, folks, the judge is on the liberals' side. This judge is not sway. He's already been swayed. This is supposed to be set up, and even though, like I said before, folks, they're trying to make it where we may win. No, don't forget, folks. These lawyers are getting paid $1,500 an hour. $1,500 an hour just to even berate you in the courtroom. Because that's what this one lawyer was doing. He was trying to berate Pat King. And they're trying, he was even trying to make an attack, saying Pat King doesn't even know what he's talking about. Oh, you're crazy, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. This lawyer has no idea. And then Pat King's trying to tell the story that, people were upset and they were throwing down marbles and all kinds of stuff at the people protesting. And they talk about the horns, okay, the honking of the horns. They respectfully decided to do what they want. They're still told not to do. But in the meantime, there are people, all the people, that citizens in that area, they weren't complaining about the horns. They were happy that those horns were playing. They even try to use the idea of the store owners, that the store owners were losing business or had lost business. They said this: the store owners, this is what the lawyer said, the store owners lost business because of the protest. The store owners were told to close their doors or they get a fine while the protest is on. Do you guys get it? Anybody who's open that served the protesters, the truckers convoy, would get fined thousands of dollars and forced closed, never to return. That the government would seize their company, seize their business, if they decide to serve these people. And a lot of these some of these companies actually served them food, served them water, and then they decided to said to them, well, how come you weren't wearing a mask? How come you didn't tell people that they wear a mask to come in? How come you didn't tell people that be 6 feet apart? How come you didn't tell people to line up, to stand outside and wait 6 feet apart? It's way past that, folks. Nobody was obligated to wear a mask. Nobody's obligated to be 6 feet apart. But they had to use that to make you feel that you're still that little mouse. That's what they like to do. And then there was disruption in the proceeding, almost at the end, where Pat King was trying to say something to finish off the wording, but the lawyer would not let him talk. He kept shutting Pat King down because Pat King wants something to basically finish telling him what's really going on. I'm surprised that Pat King actually cut his hair short and shaved his beard. That was a surprise to me. Pat King was given that advice. If you want to look respectful, it's to shave your beard and cut your hair short, and then the public will see you better than who you are, which you should appear. And that's old court procedures, belief systems. I used to work for Surrey Pretrial. I was actually a native court worker. And so the first thing the lawyers would tell their client is to cut their hair short and to shave their beard to look respectful, wear a suit. And then they'll appear more respectful from the public. That's old school. That's not the way it is anymore today. I've seen people now, lawyers wear beards. I see them walking in wearing a beard. Oh, well, that's just me. You see? Let there be judged. But that's what they do. Thank you guys for joining me on the Facebook chat room as well as the YouTube chat room. And I'm in both of them. So if you're unable to see me in the Facebook chat room, go to my YouTube page. There's actually a little line with the blue letters just above my words in that page in Facebook, and click on that. You can come into the chat room there on YouTube and see what me talking from there. Some people saying, oh, it's hard to get into the chat room. Then go to my YouTube so we make it easier for you. If you're wondering why there's very few people in this chat room on Facebook, is because Facebook said to me that I'm only allowed X amount of people. The usual. They want to downsize my presence of people visiting. I know there's hundreds of people that want to come in, but they can't get in because they're saying that they're teaching me a lesson for me giving people misinformation. And so they said under these little rules, you can't say anything. But basically, here's how it works, folks. Screw you. Screw you, YouTube and Facebook. I couldn't care less because I've got Telegram. Guys, download Telegram and take it. It's the best social network ever. Download the app. You have more freedom of speech, more freedom of voice, because the only reason why I've got Facebook is because of what I do for business. If I didn't have any business whatsoever, I wouldn't be in Facebook right now. I wouldn't be using YouTube. I'd be using Telegram, because Telegram is going to be like a lot like YouTube. You can do your own shows from Telegram. You can do way more off this one particular site. That you have so much freedom and so many groups in there. There's a lot of people that you see in this room now. Some actually have their own page. They've joined my page, be part of my group, the True North Strong and Free page. Join it. It's the only one in the page in that site, and you'll see what I do. And the very same page you see that I placed in there in Facebook is in my Telegram. You'll see it in there as well. Everybody kept saying, well, how about trying to use a Rumble? And I could, but right now I'm going to do this until the whole, I guess would say, a lot of things I would like to download and own it, but I already know why waste my energy knowing that some of these social networks are going to be taken away in the next month or two, that they're gone. Why waste my energy on that? So I'm just going to use up the time with it until it gets forwarded over. And I always save all of my files, anything to do with audio, video, I save them. I keep them as a file, so then if anybody wants to see any of my stuff, I got it available on Telegram. It's not hard to do. But I already know I have approximately what they said here. I have over 3,000 people that want to see my show. They can't get in because they're not allowed to when I have a voice. But yet, if you're just talking about puppies and kitties or your daily travels, you can have as many as you want, hundreds of thousands of people. They don't care. In fact, they'll make you look funny. They'll make you look good, and they'll give you all these little prizes. It's called dumbing you down, folks. That's all it's about, is dumbing you down. um, I'm going to share something with you as well. This was passed to me. Let's see. I'm going to bring this up first. If you want to go on my True North Stronger Free, you'll find the All Freedom Convoy truckers donors could be drawn into class action suit over protest disruptions, lawyer trending class action suit over Ottawa protest. So basically, the lawyers that work for the federal government now, they want to sue the truckers because they're saying that they lost business. They want to help out the Liberal Party. Lawyers, they want to sue. They just love making money. They're not making money with clients. They're going to be their own hypocrites. Also, I have on my one page, and on my page on True North. This is important, folks. This was related from Rumble, and there's a fellow who I trust. He's actually with he's one of Trump's people, U.S. Marine. U.S. male mass arrests are underway. Okay, U.S. military mass arrests are underway. He's giving you the heads up right now. Deep state desperate to flee. U.S. Marines domestic ops. ANON audio file 22 SGA Anon discloses information relating to the current mass arrests that have been authorized by the U.S. military, as well. Tunnel destruction, USMC operations domestically in SoCal, USA. Okay, it's here. You folks don't. It's gonna. I got friends in the military, and they're going like, there, can't say that, there, can't say that, can't say it, not yet, not yet, wait, wait, we'll give you this. Or they'll say heads up. And what they're really saying is that, you know, it's still coming. They're not holding it back and say, oh, I don't believe it until it gets here. No, it's happening, folks. It's for real. Okay. Um, and it says here, one person basically made a statement: Trudeau government is planning a massive increase in the number of immigrants entering Canada with a goal of seeing over 500,000 people arrive each year by 2025. And the reason why Trudeau wants to do that, so then he can take all the doctors and nurses jobs away from them, the ones that are awakened, that are not in the arm, and replace them for what he wants to bring in. That's basically, this is a threat, folks. This is trying to get you to be scared. Anytime you see anything that looks ridiculous, even when Trudeau says that they're going to make sure you don't own a gun, making sure you can't have this, making sure you can't have that, he's supposed to be working for you. Why all of a sudden he wants to take things away from you like you're a child? Bad boy, bad girl, you can't have this. I'm your mommy now. That's what he's doing. He's telling you what he wants you to do. Your prime minister is he had planned on being the first dictator of Canada, and that was his goal. And that was his goal. And the plan, they're still sticking to the plan. Okay? They're still sticking to the plan. They want you to say, folks, stand up for yourselves. Enough is enough. That's what they're trying to point out. Please understand, you don't take their garbage, you don't accept their crap. That's what they're trying to do, is get you to get scared. And and you guys may think you're free. Oh, because we're back. Our lives are back again. We're fine. No, you're not done. This is just a setup to get you all worked up. There's still more to do. You haven't had all your freedom yet. You think you're free. You're not. Nobody across the world is still free. Every government's trying to control you. Still have. They're just changing laws or making these laws. So I get a kick out of them when they turn around and call it mandatory. Oh, these are mandatories. Or like, more, the word mandatory means that you are you're giving in. Okay, it's mandated, it's mandatory, that you're giving them permission. That's what it means, give them permission. Travis says big Trudeau mommy can rip out the big titty from these little suckers. Yeah. Do you remember that day? I'm not sure if you guys didn't see it, but do you remember that day when Trudeau actually took down the Canadian flag and hung the pride flag on the Ottawa grounds? He's the first prime minister who had done that. He flew the pride flag on the Ottawa grounds and he took the Canadian flag down. He replaced it. So, think about it, folks. This is not done. I mean, thank you, Scott, for coming in the chat room. It's true. They want you to let your guard down. Stay vigilant. And you do. You have to stay vigilant, because there's still more things that they're trying to do to control what comes in, what goes out. Now, I'm sure you guys have noticed you don't hear anything about Hillary or Bill or Obama or, all the ex-presidents. They're not here. They're under. Do you notice that? You don't hear from them anymore. And if you do hear of them, they're not who they are. They're just either a clone or just actors. because I get a kick out of when they bring in Hillary. Each time Hillary comes in, she's like 5'2", and then she's 5'9", and then she goes back 5'6", and then she's 5'4", and her height just changes. And those high heels, I'm telling you, they're just amazing. And then Bill, he gets taller and taller and taller, and then he goes short, 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 and taller, taller, taller. Look at the original photos, guys, when you remember her standing next to him, and then you look at the ones today. Big difference. I'm sure Bill Clinton did not lose height in his spine as a matter of 6 inches. Do you guys get it? Think about it. Um, we've got, oh, yeah, here's one for, I got a kick of this one. Trudeau rushes to the Caribbean, leaving his own land undefended. You can leave the country all you want, Trudeau. Don't come back. People are afraid that if he leaves Canada, that we'll be at war. I don't think so. He had a fallout with Andrew Scheer, the Conservative Party speaker. He went off on Trudeau. The let's see, Emergency Act Inquiry, Freedom Convoy organizer testifies day 14. That's a couple of days ago. Amazon baby wish list. And basically, Andrew Scheer and them are saying to Trudeau, you're going to jail, bud. And Trudeau is going like, he pretends nothing has ever happened. I get a kick out of these guys when there's no prime minister anywhere. When you don't have a prime minister to represent your country, and especially in cabinet, they take off to whatever country they want to go to. And then they have all these people that will supposed to be speaking for him, and half of them have no idea what's going on. But what they do is they look at the sheet and they read off what they're told to say. And it's not even an answer, it's an avoidance of the subject. That's not a politician. That's avoidance. That basically are just making you, like, you're just wasting hours and hours of our tax dollars and you just avoiding each other. And I'm so looking forward to how do you say this? I'm so looking forward to seeing all those people behind bars, the ones that are corrupted, not too long from now. My joy, my wishes, my dreams. I'm sure you all have the same thing. Yeah, go Gadget, Hillary heals. Go Gadget. That's funny. Um, it's. I'm waiting for that day when the military show up in every street across the world. You know, that special jewelry that they'll be wearing around their arms soon. These are the ones that have not been replaced yet. These are the ones that they're coming to go collectively pick them up because they're which called the finisher, the completion of the investigation, the completion of world terrorism that are being taken out. And those 300 plus judges, they've been busy for the last, since Trump has been in government, since 2016. They've been really busy, still to this day, because they had to open up a second prison. They had to make a new one, another one. That's how full it is. They had about 250,000 in one prison, which was Gitmo, Guantanamo Bay in Cuba, that there was no room. They had to move on and move into another part, which I think is Antarctica. I could be wrong. Don't quote me, but I think it's Antarctica. And they had to build it, hurriedly put it together, and get it done. So now we have a second prison, International terrorist prison. It's the world. These are the world's largest prisons in the world. I mean, absolutely. I mean, this reminds me of the Justice League, so to speak. You know, Trump is the Justice League leader, and they're actually picking up all these people that are all the baddies, and they're taken to all these prisons, international prisons, and they're going to be gone. You know, it's done. And Keith says that his son is in Ottawa right now interviewing politicians. Yeah, okay, if he's awake, I've been awoken to do those interviews. And don't forget, too, now, folks, politicians actually will BS you if you're not on their side. Or they want to talk to you. And you got some that are supposed to be on your side, but we'll see, right? That could be it. That could be the Greenland. But I think, if I remember correctly, oh no, I'm wrong. It is Greenland. It is a prison to Greenland. Antarctica is the one that they're underground. They're in the tunnel, and they're cleaning out what's underground in the tunnel because they found a spaceship under Antarctica, a huge one. It's been there for years and years and years. And so yeah, that's the one there. That's what they're doing. That's Antarctica. That's the spaceship. So they're actually there right now. They had to bring people in on a swing shift. I remember one of the guys was saying, was in the military. They had to bring in 1,500 more military boys to swing shift to go in there and clean it out. There's an underground tunnels there. Okay, deep deep underground military bases, dumps. Uh, yeah, I know there's a dark site as well as Central America, Second Gitmo. Yeah, I mean, I watched JFK Jr.'s page because, in fact, they send their stuff to my page. I'm quite surprised. JFK Jr. and Trump's people are sending their stuff to my page now. I so thank them greatly because I'm not passing them. I don't go to their page and drop them on my page. They're dropping them in my page. They're putting them in my page. So I guess they are respecting me for what I'm trying to do to help give people hope. I'm just trying to. I'm actually what you're doing was what you're hearing right now. I just got rid of a head cold that I've had 4 or 5 days ago, and I'm just a finish of it. So it's more like a nothing really more. It's just it's done. And if I said head cold, oh my God, is that what it is? Is it a COVID? No, it's a freaking head cold, folks. We all entitled to have one. You can't hide. Oh, it's one of those. You guys just put your mask on. No, I'm not going to do that. Got to breathe. Okay. Um, okay. Pat King heated questioning emergency act inquiry. Buy me a coffee. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. I'm sure if you guys may not have seen it, you can see on YouTube. Type in the word. If you get a chance to go after, have a look at it, and it says Pat King heated questioning on YouTube. Or if you want to refer back to my page on True North Strong and Free, it's worth your while. Okay, and you get to see what's going on. Plus, also CTV actually was actually covering covering the story in the. Um, Pat King had all smiles. He was trying to smile. Uh, drop your butt and run. Derek has a sniffle. Yeah, of course. Sometimes I have allergies. I mean, I thought it was a head cold. It's actually it's an allergy. I'm bloody allergic to mustard. That's what it is. I was bullshitting you. Um, Whenever I eat mustard in a sandwich, my nose starts to run. It's stupid. You get everyone has these stupid side effects of certain foods you eat, even condiments. It's nuts. Okay, Pat King. Emergencies Act inquiry hears from protester Pat King, Freedom Convoy lawyer, testimony from key players in the Freedom Convoy protests continued in Ottawa on Wednesday with a public order emergency commission hearing from lawyer Keith Wilson and the few of the faces of the protests, Tom Marazzo, and Pat King. And here are the highlights I talked about. So everybody is 1000% behind Pat King. I, if you got one person not behind him, well, that's their problem. You'll find out why we're trying. You know, here's the thing, folks, and I'll be honest with you. You can be mad at us for what we did, what you got with those protesters who had done. You can be mad at us and say, you people this and you people that. But we had to. Because if it wasn't for the convoy, we would be in a different place. Because at the same time when the convoy was happening, Trudeau was actually building 2 internment camps. Did you know that? Internment camps. Anybody who's unjabbed, we're going to go there. That was his goal. But because the Freedom Convoy came down, it stopped his building. And these camps were already built before the real Trudeau was arrested. And the first one that was being built or had been built was in Winnipeg, Manitoba, in Canada. And it was built by the Manitoba Métis Federation. They were given money to build a camp with razor wire on top of the fence. Razor wire that you would never escape. That's keeping. It's like keeping Jewish people behind inside. Does that make any sense, folks? Does that make any freaking sense? That's exactly what Trudeau's plan was. He was going to put a lot of people behind prison walls so that he can bring out his Chinese soldiers and bring out his Chinese police, because that's exactly what his plan was. He already had Chinese police base. He had Chinese soldiers ready to come in. Why? They were based in Vancouver and Toronto. Thousands of them. Thousands of them. He brought them into Canada. They were all plain clothes, but they were all military. And you guys think you know everything about Canada? You don't know nothing. And anytime I say something that, oh, we had a Chinese military base being built outside of Surrey here in the edge of Surrey, oh, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy. I seen that bloody thing. I get my intel from the military. I seen it. So why would you not believe what I'm telling you? Oh, of course. Some little guy in the room somewhere tells a story. Yeah, don't listen to him. But if you're famous, well, okay, we'll listen to you. Um, U.S. military personnel spotted in South Korean mass death event. Yeah, what happened was there was something happened in Korea, and so the U.S. military showed up and took care of it. It wasn't supposed to happen. Yeah, you have 2 CCP centers in Toronto right now as we speak. Yes, we do. Chinese Communist Party centers, and there are actually one in Surrey here. But that's gone because when they were building an underground tunnel from Surrey to Washington D.C., I'll repeat it. I'll repeat it. They built underground tunnel to attack Washington D.C. when Trump was president. They were going to attack the White House. This is what I was sent, and that there was a little over 100,000 Chinese military soldiers about to attack it, coming out of the tunnels. And Trump heard all about it, so he had, and they blew up the tunnels with them inside. They were gone bye bye. Okay, so he's one step ahead of them. Trump knows. John Kennedy Jr. knows. There are some very people above, even above Trump, that are helping Trump that know about this. If we didn't have him to watch over our country, to check to make sure what we're doing or what we're doing, our country would have been absolute shambles. Trump's in control. You guys think that Trudeau is leading the country? No, no, he's not leading. Not sorry. If you're thinking that Trudeau's leading the country, he's not. Trump actually came down here and took care of him, took him away free jewelry and took them away to Guantanamo Bay. Okay. Um, then there was, after that, then they brought in, and when the truckers convoy was here, the, let's see here, when the truckers convoy was here, they brought in American military army dressed up as police officers to beat up and manipulate our protesters. Now, that never would have been exposed, but I found it myself when they had the logo of American Army on their vest that said police. I'm going, why is that symbol on their vest, even though it said, but they have to wear it. That identifies them who they are so they can see each other, to identify each other. They have to have that shown or they are in trouble. So they have to show that. That's mandatory. Even though it says police, but you're seeing the word police across your vest, but that logo right there is priority. Trudeau did not send, not just send. And those people that were laying on the ground that looked like they're getting beaten up and knocked over, those are crisis actors, folks. They want you to see what it would look like. And why does Mommy Trudeau have to say that about the judge ruling the protest was a peaceful one? What does Mommy Trudeau have to say about the judge ruling the protest was a peaceful one? Don't know. Let you guys figure that one out. Yeah, Scott, it wasn't symbol of the Eagle Squadron, and that's what it is. Because we don't have Eagle Squadrons in this country, and you're American, so you would know. Um, we don't have the eagle with the clutches of arrows in each claw clutch. We don't have that here in Canada. So that tells you they're American. So they were brought here specifically to be in control or to basically make people feel. I will say this. We're still in the movie. We're still in the show. You still have to see this. You'll still have to participate in it. Um, it's like a movie. You're the actors. You're there to see what it would look like. There's crisis actors out there being hired. West Palm Beach in Florida, for example, in Craigslist. I got a copy of it here on my page. Okay. Copy of it. It says, we are a government contractor with 15 years of experience working with country, CAS, state, and federal agencies to ensure the safety, listen carefully, to ensure the safety of civilians by conducting simulated crisis events. Okay. Crisis scenarios may include, but are not limited to, situations involving natural disasters, terror scenarios, which are militias, extremists, and COVID. And you guys get it? Okay. They hire people $15 an hour to play the roles, to record it, and they put it on TV, and that's what you're believing. Okay. Because see, the thing is that George Soros's people were actually junior. They're the ones that are hiring crisis actors. That's his contract. And there's other people that are still trying so hard, what's left of it, you know. Andrew Scheer and Trudeau, what happened? Scheer just nail Trudeau. He just called him an outright liar. So in cabinet, he shamed him. So yeah, it's actually on my on my Telegram. You'll see it. It's in my Telegram page on True North Strong and Free. Trudeau's also working on also doing the. He wants to create what's called Emergency Act hearing. He wants to actually um, wants to make it where this Emergency Act can be continuous. It's not going to be something that he's going to take it away, put it aside, and then he wants to make it where it stays 24/7. He still wants us to still be an Emergency Act. So that he can't do that, and no other prime minister has ever done that. None, never, not one prime minister has ever done that before. And in fact, even the other ministers of cabinet said he had no right to pull it up and to make it happen without permission. So, uh, okay, I'm sure you guys know who Chris SKY is. He's now a citizen of Mexico. He said, mission accomplished. I will never be a prisoner in a communist Canada ever again, regardless of restrictions. Becoming internationally nomadic is now essential. He sent, oh, I can't believe it. He sent his passport, or I guess his Mexican ownership, um, or I guess say it's the government of Mexico. He's now officially a um, citizen of Mexico. So now him and his wife, and here's the crazy part. I remember watching his video, and he said his wife was American and he's Canadian. So, pardon me. I thought that was funny. Let's see. Oh my God, his last name. Well, you even though SKY, you guys see his last. That's not real. His real last name, by the way. I'm not going to mention his real last name, but he decided to show his ID card because now he's in Mexico. I wonder if Trudeau will let him back in to do his presentation. But he did say when Chris got to Mexico, he was followed around like a famous movie star. They all recognized him from who he was from all this time, the last 2.5, 3 years, doing his stand-up work, patriotism, that the people in Mexico were following him everywhere, and he was so catered to as if he was a hero. A hero. They treated him like a movie star. He was so important there that Chris was getting benefits galore. People just kept saying, "No, no, no, dinner's on us," or "No, no, no, we'll take care of you. Don't worry about it." Okay. The judge ruled that all the unvaccinated should get their jobs back. They should. They should get their jobs back. But what you guys missed in this, they should get their jobs back, but they still want them jabbed again. Oh, you want your jobs back? Okay. Well, we'll get your job back, but you have to be jabbed. It's still a push. And no. Or they want you to inhale this new drink. Same stuff, by the way. You don't even have to do the jab, you drink it. Same stuff. You drink it now or inhale it. Oh, it gets crazier and crazier. And they want you to do this every 6 months. So, let's see what else is there. Like I said, I'm playing catch up to everybody here, all the people that I've talked about. Pat King and Tamara Leach. A lot of people did say that when she was telling her story, Tamara never even they should never have grabbed her. She was innocent as all heck. But they're making Tamara the worst. Like she was the leader, you know. She was the bad person. Um, one guy, one fellow, I can't remember his name here. I'm not sure what his name is, but he said, let's see here. Yeah, I can't remember who this person is that was saying who he is, but by the mid 2030s, he says we will feed nanobots into the brains. So basically, his goal, or he was saying that people he works with, they're going to put the nanobots into the food, and so they're making sure that you are controlled. And that's boastful. A couple years back is when this guy said this. It's not like that anymore. They can't. They're trying to again put scare tactics in people. By 2030, they're trying to control you. It says trust the plan, devolution, continuity of operation plan, continuity of government, white hat military pulling string behind the scenes. So trust the white hats, right? Um, and we already know that the fellow who lives in the basement is not the real Joe. You know that, right? Basement Joe. Yeah, he's not the real Joe. Okay, what else we got here? I want to share with you guys. Oh, the media. Oh yeah, here it starts. Mainstream media is begging for forgiveness. Pardon me. Did you know that? My office is dry when the door closed. Pardon me. Mainstream media is begging for forgiveness. Millions are dead due to the propaganda. They're desperate. What is in the so-called C-19 the vax evidence of a global crime against humanity? So the mainstream media now is begging for forgiveness. They already know they're in trouble, and anybody who works for any mainstream media and has announced it continuously to tell people they have to be jabbed, they have to do this, got to do that. No matter if you're the boss, assistant to the boss, they're coming for you. Okay. Um, yeah. You mainstream media are also killers. They're aiding abetting death. They've aided abetted death, and they know it, and they got paid for it. So it's aiding abetting. So it's you're in trouble, boys, girls. You know those who are actually you'll find out whoever gets taken away. That's why I said they're making a second prison. International. This is big. This is a cleanup. This is you know. I like Nick says amnesty, no deal. Because why get away with something that you're told to do? And then they're saying today they're commercializing. They're still commercializing jabs. Now they're saying they're commercializing 4 jabs into 1 jab for elders over 65. Every day, 5, 6 times a day, they're advertising the new jabs. And now they're bringing up the bird flu, avian flu. Oh my God. Is it possible we're going to have avian flu back again? Yes, it is possible. We are going to have. And the one lady said, who actually was interviewing this doctor, goes, I'm so excited to be involved with this one again because I'm so looking forward to having this avian flu back because now we have to be in control of the food industry. You just said you want to be in control of the food industry. Who started the word avian flu again? And she admitted, the woman they interviewed, she admitted there's no. she admitted that she looked forward to kill all these birds, even wild ones. We're going to kill all the wild birds. We're going to kill all the chickens and all the turkeys and all the domestic birds, including your house birds, your parrots and your macaws and your little chickadees. We're going to kill them all, so you won't have avian flu. Really? Do you remember, folks, who invented it? Do you remember who invented the avian flu? Who created it and made it a household fear? Same person that made this C-19. Same person who made the AIDS virus. Yep. I'm not kidding you. Fauci, I mean, even though he's not here, but he has kept it running. There's so many actors that's taken his place. Oh my God. They replaced him over Fauci, another Fauci. Oh, here's another one. And then this other Fauci, he laughs a lot. We've never seen Fauci laugh. I never have in my life. But this one here laughs a lot. You can't touch me. You can't touch me. I'm like, who made that? You know what I mean? So, yeah, they're trying to bring back the avian flu. So then everyone has to get the avian flu shots. Or they want to take your food out of your pockets, or off your plate, so you can't have chicken anymore, no turkey. You can't have even Christmas. They're going to try and take all that away from you. Oh, I'm sorry. You'll have to have nothing. But we'll take care of you. Maybe you'll have Soylent Green. If you haven't seen the movie, watch it. It's been going, and that Soylent Green has been going on for years. But it's not green. It was placed into a lot of the foods in our major corporate food suppliers. Wendy's, McDonald's, KFC. All right? Think about it. And I got proof of the videos where these people were interviewed, basically telling the story. And I've got a video showing what was hung in there, or what was found in the freezers, hanging on hooks. And they did not look like beef to me. Okay. I hear claims that several ancient evil celestial rulers are now prisoners. Things are about to change here. Yes, there are some satanic leaders behind bars. I will say this to you guys for the first time, and you guys need to know this. I'm recovering from being attacked. 2 nights ago or 2 days ago, I wasn't myself, and I was. It happened to me before, many years ago, and where an entity will take me over. And my wife and I were shopping. We were in Costco, looking for food, or not food, but for items. And I was walking, and then suddenly I felt this like as if something walked right through me. And in a matter of a couple of minutes, I wasn't feeling good. And I said to Marina, I'm really lightheaded and I can't get this damn thing out of me. It's stuck in me, and it's making me feel really lightheaded. I can barely walk. So I finally got home, and I just wasn't feeling myself. Like, it was just making me, I was hurting. I had ache. I had pain. It was like it's trying to stretch out its arms in my body. Like, you're too small. I want to break out of you and tear through you. And I'm going, you're like, you're hurting me. Like, stop that. So I said to Marina, I said that there's somebody's trying to take over me, and I can't. I got to get out. I need to get this taken care of. And she knew it. She saw there. She felt there's something wrong with me. So I got in the tub and face down, and she started bringing out the medicines. And we filled the tub full of water, and then she put the wet towel over me, and we were praying and doing our prayers and to get it out of me, this entity. But that day, or while I was in that entity, while I was sitting face down, I heard the word. Um, this was actually someone trying to get me killed, and that it was a covenant, and it was trying to kill me. So I have the ability to take care of myself, but I had to do certain things my way, and I got rid of it. It came out of my body, so I'm recovering from it. And my wife can tell you, I didn't look right, and so when you're in this field, myself as a medium, when you're in this field, there are times that people like us get attacked, and we get attacked really hard. But when I'm also a freedom fighter, whistleblower, so I'm kind of a combination of everything. Um, then they're coming after you, and I strongly believe there was a witch covenant, a bad black witch covenant that was their intention was to take me out. So, and I said to Marina, says, I'm not leaving this world because of that. That's bullcrap. And so, like I said, I have powerful friends in the spirit world that took care of it and got it out of me. And then I was fine by afternoon or by evening, and the next day I was getting better. So, any chance, folks, that you ever feel, if you know of someone who has ever had similar attacks like that, it's it's happened to me before. Uh, One time, a young girl, I told you the story of this, but I mean, one time a young girl was walking in front of my house, and she says witchcraft rules, and witchcraft rules, and I'm going like, no, it doesn't. And I said, be careful how you say it, be careful what you do. I'll prove it to you, she says. And she was like 16, 17 years old. That night when I slept, I was at a very nasty dream. I was being chased by a white-haired witch, and she was chasing me everywhere and trying to scare me. I'm going like, why am I running from this woman? This is bull crap. And so I just stopped and turned around and said, no, you're not going to touch me. I said, as far as I'm concerned, far more powerful than you are. Back off. Whoever sent you to me, you're done. I remember saying to the three, and I first of all, I remember that one part. I went to this area, this other dimension, and there was three witches. This true story, guys. Three witches that were sitting in front of a white flaming fire, and they had crooked noses, like your typical, not real, true traditional look of a green, pale skinned witches. Three of them, old time period, and they're all three were sitting in front of this fire. And I said, "Why did you send her after me?" And they said, "We didn't." I said, "Well, then you guys better take care of it now, because this is not my problem." And they said, "We'll take care of it. We'll leave you alone." That next day, the girl came to my house. She was crying and crying in tears. And she stood and looked at me, and I said, "What's the matter?" And she looked, "You're upset." And she goes, "Look, my hair is falling out." Like she had chunks of her hair falling out of her head. I said, "Well, see, I told you not to mess with me." So the thing is that, folks, I never harmed her, but I taught her a lesson. She was very fortunate that she lost her hair and she got it grew back, but she had to learn a lesson. You don't mess with people like me, nor people that are involved in this kind of field. When I work with spirit, I work in a good and humble way, but I will not tolerate bullcrap being attacked. And that's one of the incidents. There's another one that where I was doing a ceremony, an indigenous ceremony, where a young man had passed away, trying to take over my body, and I couldn't see through my eyes. Like literally, he came in through my body and trying to take me over, like as in he was going to be in control. And I was driving home, and I couldn't see through my eyes. For a hard way to see through my eyes. I come through the door of my house, and I said to my wife, "I need you to help me get the medicines out. We need to do this ceremony." I said, "This he's in his body. He's in my body. He won't come out." And she took care of it. My wife knows. She grabbed the medicines. We filled the tub full of water and dropped it in there. That's the first time. That was back in early 2000s. That's the first time when it happened. That one, and then again, 4 days ago. This one here. So when you're young, you're strong. When you get older, it takes a little longer. But I recovered, and thank you for sharing that, Adrian, as well. When you heard claims that several ancient evil celestial rulers are now for new prisoners, yeah, are quite a few, and some are actually were forced to leave. And if they're not from this planet, they're forced to leave this planet, never to come back. It's bigger than you and I, guys. This is not something that's just land walking people. This is not people who are born on this earth. There's people that came here from another planet that suggestively joined in to see if they can control us too, or they influence a human or humans to see if they can control the world. And they were in the background doing the push, and the rest of the evil so-called baddies of humans decided to say, well, okay, well, let's do this. And they were doing it for over 100 years, maybe more. Originally, but creating all these diseases, that's been going on since the 1100s, 1300s. They created all these diseases continuously. Mankind does not create a disease unless it's invented to downsize population. And when a certain ruler or king feels that there is no way that he or she would win the war, then they will use some sort of a poison to downsize population so that he can rule the land. And that's exactly what, and listen, guys, carefully, that's why you're all here right now. They reinvented it from 1918 Spanish flu. They reinvented it, the idea, not same stuff, but they reinvented it from Bill Gates Sr., who actually was a scientist, and Bill Gates Jr. decided to carry on Daddy's role. I'm going to do this too. That's exactly what he did. So please understand, when they call it the New World Order, it's Old World Order. They tried to do that back in 1918. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Bilderbergs, and many others financially backed it to make sure they can try to control the world. But guess what? There are some people who are called the White Hats, or you call them just before the letter R in the alphabet. Okay? They have been around they're not an Anon, they are totally separate from an Anon. Because that's the Christ letter. That's Jesus Christ letter. And they have been trying to protect us. So if you think it's a joke, it's not a joke. It's for real. I'll stand behind them 1,000%. And I'm here specifically to give you guys, and you can laugh and you think it's funny. You're going to find out sooner or later. And you're going to oh, I should have listened to Derek. But again, you can be mad at me. You can hate me. You can say, oh, I don't want to talk to you anymore about this. Or you're pretty big on this, so I don't know what you're talking about. Do you know what? Yes, Melissa, thank you very much. She's in the chat room. Melissa says, I totally understand. I've been spiritually attacked by many times. Yes, because Melissa, you are a medicine keeper, and that makes a difference. Anybody who's a medicine keeper, and I'm a medicine keeper too. just like her. I carry a pipe, not a peace pipe. It's a medicine pipe. It's a pipe of prayer. But I do this pipe. I awaken the pipe when it's necessary to pray for the world, to heal, to protect it. Humbly ask Spirit to watch over all of us, to make sure that we get well, and to watch each other, to take care of our land. And I'm not going to try to explain to you where I got it from or how I got it. It's not necessary. What's important, because and I always say this, I've had it for many, many years, and it was given to me by a keeper, another keeper before me. But um, the reason why, like I said, everyone needs to know the factual truth. Right now, the witches or anybody that practices their dark magic, and thank you, Lisa. Um, Anybody that practices dark magic are on their last step, their last, whatever you want to call it, because anybody who practices it the black magic or the black way, or if they're fear mongering people, if they figure that they're more superior than us, you're not. I don't care who you are, male or female. I don't care who you are. I'm not making myself better than you, but don't play your ego game with me or anybody else. You do not harm people. You have no right to. None whatsoever. I stand behind my work. I've been doing it for many, many, many years. I won't tolerate it. But I'm a very fun person to know. And I love to work with people. I love doing readings for people. I love doing healing work with people. I love working in the community. But whenever I make something or do something, I stand behind it 1,000%. I don't play any game or pretend to be somebody I'm not. I am who I am. So, that's all I can do. Say this. Adrian, they will not have power in the new frequency, perhaps. You know what? That's true, because according to JFK Jr., once they make the big switch, everything changes. I mean, even all of our television um, media, it's all going to switch over. They're going to be the military are going to be in control of it all. That we'll have more freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of thought, no brainwashing, no digital. We are still freedom fighters. We're still living a free life for at least the next 1,000 years. So our humankind. This is God's plan. This was in the Bible, and they had stated, God had said that He already won. The time that God actually was in the war with Satan around 2020. God has already won. 2020, 2021. God already won. We're just cleaning up what's left. And Trump and all them, they're just helping out. They're helping to help clean up what's left of it. There are people there that are the new messengers that have to help do the cleanup. You can't expect a biblical group come in wearing biblical robes and go, okay, let's take care of this. So you're going to start seeing some scary stuff again, and they're going to try to scare you again, or you can start hearing stories about what they're going to do to this person, that person. My job is to show you and to share with you not to be afraid or worry about that person. I am going to say this, and I know Trump does appreciate Pat King, because Pat King is very well known by the president. And anyone else that's been behind the bars, Trump knows about them. And I'm sure he'll agree that they did the right thing. Not Trudeau, But they themselves did the right thing of the convoy because Trump did stand behind the convoy 1,000%. So, Trump, I will say this, Scott, Trump will be president before 2024. Yeah. Something's going to happen. There's going to be a cleanup where automatically he becomes president, where he will become the president of the new republic of the United States. New republic. And that will be he'll be the 19th president of the new republic. And then that's where JFK Jr. becomes the vice president. Now you know. And then I'm sure there are other people out there today are saying, who's the president of the United States? And then some people will say Joe Jr. or Joe, and then nope. And people say, okay, then it's Donald Trump. Nope. Why? Well, they're saying is because a president did not die. Okay, they made you think that he died. He's not dead. So pretty sure everything is wrapped up by 2023. Yeah, you're right. They are making it where, like, okay, remember the 5th of November. Nicole, you're correct. That senior, he's still alive. That's the real P, who is still alive. He's 104. I believe he's been on the med bed, and so he's more youthful looking because they can live longer, and that's why he's still here. You will see him come to the surface as well. He's going to shock a lot of people when he shows up through that door. I'm telling you, when you guys see him, you're going to go like, no way. And you're going to see Marilyn Monroe, and you're going to go, no way. And you're going to see Elvis Presley, you're going, no way. Michael Jackson, no way. Tupac Shakur, no way. Yeah, they're all coming. They're all coming. All 900 are coming forward. You're going to absolutely be in shock. But you have to be in shock. Yes. Disclosure December, I'm thinking so. Well, um, possibly, yes. You're very, very close, my dear. Um, yeah, Scott, because I don't know if that's the case in the US, doesn't feel like that. Well, you're not going to see everything come forward in the news. You'll more likely see it in his page. Go to JFK Jr.'s page. And if you need to, go to um, Gene Code's page. You'll hear about it there. Go to Gene Code on GENE code. Go to his page. He's pretty well. He's Trump's right hand storyteller. Yeah, you're gonna feel it. It's like it's gonna come up, and it's like it's gonna be a surprise. Don't forget, folks. You got a lot of people who are still in deep state, the bad ones, and they're gonna still trying to make you believe that they're in control. They're not. Um, but again, the white hats have to confuse the black hats. So they have to mislead them to make them think they have to work for it. This is the way it is. Like all your actors that you see now, most of them that were not good people, they have been taken out, but they were replaced by um, clones. So, but you'll find out gene decode. Yeah. GENE decode. DECODE. Gene Decode. That's on Telegram. Go there, you'll see it. In fact, Gene has been kicked out of YouTube, Facebook, um, because of his truth. They're deathly afraid of him. He knows his stuff. I agree. The energy in this country is big. The wave has to crest soon. Yeah, actually, if you guys notice that the weather has shifted now, some people say here in BC now we're getting snow. And where I am, we're getting some pieces of snow. That has to fall for a brief time, but our caterpillars are saying it's going to be a soft, light winter, not a heavy winter, as in like major snow. It's like it'll come for about a week, maybe two at the most, and it's gone after that. And then the next thing you know, you're pretty well rain country again. Some people say, "Oh, reminds me of England." Well, maybe, but we're bigger, much bigger. There's okay. You see that dot? That's England. You see this? That's North America. Who's bigger than who? We are. How in the hell was this queen able to control all of us in Canada? Because you let her. Now you know why. And Charlie, he won't be king. They're calling him king already, but he's not king because the real King Charles has been gone. He's been dead for 2.5 years. So this is an actor playing King Charlie or King Chuck, what do you want to call him? So no, it was a factual truth by a lot of mediums that said that he'll never be king. It's true. He'll never be king. No one will be king of England. There actually is truly a queen in England that is not. She's not living in England right now. Um, I think she's still here in the United States, and Diana is very much alive. She's the real queen. Yeah, King Sausage Fingers. Yeah. So Queen, and you'll if you go to a page called Queen Diana on Telegram as well, she go to her page and join. She'd love to talk to you. That's a real queen. You'll see her the newer pictures, the really recently ones that of how she looks now. It's not; these are not doc pictures, by the way. Someone said to me, "Oh, anybody can doc this picture and make him look she's old." No, and she's telling her story, what happened to her, the truth, that she was rescued. JFK Jr. and Trump rescued her, and Trump, when he got to know her, they fell in love, and they had two babies together. He didn't marry Melania; he married Diana, but he had to hide her in the millennia. Do you understand the word millennia? What does millennia mean? The name millennia. Look for the meaning of millennia. What does it mean to you, folks? I've never heard of any woman's name millennia before. Everything has a code word to it. What does the word millennia mean? Look it up. Yes, she's Queen Diana. She's the Queen of Hearts. Um, no, there is no crown on his head because he's not a true king, and neither was the Queen. The Queen herself on the new bills had no crown because she lost her queenship in the 70s. So it was just this woman's. Basically, it was she was just a face, a figure. That's why they call it figureheads. She was just a figurehead on the money. The money had no value. Her figurehead had no value. Do you know that? When you got someone of no royalty, that's a figurehead. No crown on it, that's a figurehead. our money had no value. According to our government, we had money value. But in Canada back in 1984, we went bankrupt. Right now, all of our money that's being made right now has no value. Even though it's minted within its own country, yes, but it has no value in any other country because other countries can turn down our money because the Queen is not on it. Unless you want to mint it specifically under a independency or under a sovereign country, but not a corporation. That's the difference. We're no longer a corporation. No country in any world right now is under a corporation. They're all been removed. Trump signed that deal. He signed the contract and no corporation. Corporation has been removed. Ooh, since he's been in government, I forgot the date. Maybe Scott would know. Yeah, he signed that. He signed it. He actually he signed the bill, but I can't remember what year it was. He signed that bill. Um, yeah, but you're no longer under a corporation. You are now independent or sovereign. In fact, when Trump is reelected as the 19th president of the new republic, then you're under the Republic of the United States, which is under, I don't know, it's an American bill. That's one that Trump had signed. It's actually made a statement. I can't remember the number or what it is called. I remember him signing it. He signed it, saying that we're no longer your United States is no longer under a corporation. That it's independent or it's sovereign, and it's going to go to the 1776 sovereign. Yeah, 1776 sovereign country. So basically, go back to sovereignty of the United States. Here, I'm Canadian. I'm just learning. So you learn. I'm learning more history now than I have ever learned. I have ever knew in my life under American government, and I've learned more about my own country these past 3 years because I was so busy working, doing other things, and forgot it. And so I figured, well, hey, got to learn all this. If you don't, because one day you may have to deal with confrontation of some sort with some boss in some business is going to tell you got to wear this and got to do that and 6 feet apart and go like, no, you got to wear a mask. No. Yes, you have to wear a mask. It's mandatory. No, it's not. It's voluntary. Yeah, it's mandatory. No, it's voluntary. The word mandatory or mandated means voluntary, to volunteer, to make a decision whether you're going to do it or not. Then they're going to kick you out. You're going to get out of here. I said, no, I'm not leaving. I have every right to be here under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, Nuremberg Code 2.0, Geneva Convention. Those are the three, folks. All three. You need those for Canada as well as the United States. Geneva Convention protects you as well as the Nuremberg Code. Those two statements will protect you as well. You stand up for those two other, and no company or government or nobody can actually harm you. Anytime, I honest to God, guys, I had a police officer, a Surrey Police Service officer, pull me over, and because they have not signed a contract with the city yet, they're starting to pull people over just for ridiculous crap. Anyways, and they're not supposed to be assigned on the road yet to pull people over. They can, ask you if you're volunteering to show your license and registration. No, I'm not. And he said, well, I want to see your license and registration. No, I'm not. Why? Because you guys aren't legal yet. You haven't sworn in. Well, I sworn in front of who? A drunk? The mayor is a drunk, and you actually swore in front of him. Did he actually swear you in too? Was he the one that got you to sign? I said he's the director of the board of the SPS, so you signed under a drunk. Did he ask you to do the lie detector test? Because you have to do that. No, I didn't have to do that. I said, well, he has to because it's a law. So you're not legal right now. And the cop says, I agree with you. Then that means I don't have to do anything. I don't have to listen to what you ask me. I have that say. I have that right. I said, if an RCMP officer, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, which are federal police, if they pull me over and ask me questions and I had a chat with them, fine. Because that's their contract. But yours is not a contract. You have not signed with the city yet. You have not signed with the government yet. You have not even partnered with the RCMP because the RCMP has not signed any deal with you guys. So you're not even a legitimate officer. So I will no longer speak to you regarding anything. And I said, are you done? He goes, yes. Thank you very much. I'm on my, and I left. I told him off. And I won. I won my, then after he even pulled nothing out to the cop. And I said a few extra words, but I mean, not to insult him, but and there's things that I was saying that, you have a lying mayor who steals people's signs, keep the RCMP and Surrey signs off the front lawns. I said, you actually are supporting this man for to lie, to cheat, and steal. You're working for him to lie, cheat, and steal. Is that what you want to faithfully follow? And he looked at me, he says, no comment. I said, you know why? Because you already know I cornered you. He let me go. He says, have a great night. Thank you very much. Bye. And I left. I don't take their crap. RSMP, if they pull me over, fine, let's chat and find out what I did wrong. No, this officer just wanted to pick on me because apparently he was assigned to follow me because I'm actually challenging the mayor before he got into the election, because I am media as well, but I'm not mainstream media, I'm independent media. And I found out some stuff that McCallum, our mayor, Doug McCallum, did not like to hear about. I was in the cabinet, I was in the chambers, I was watching him do his little procedure of fear mongering people and whatever have you, and I confronted him. I told him off. He didn't like it, so then he tried to start a rumor that I was known in the street, a well-known con in the street. He didn't know who I was because I didn't have my media card because of my long hair. And I thought, like I said, from the very beginning of the whole program, when the courts or any government workers want people to work for them, they want you clean hair cutting, no beard. They want to make you look like you're what? Clean shaven. But you know what? You know who the biggest cons are? Your lawyers. You know the biggest cons are a lot of your politicians. And the reason, and sure, you ever see if I became a politician, I'm not going to cut my hair. I'm going to still be who I am. If I did become one, okay, I wouldn't change. If anybody says to me, "Oh, you have to cut your hair," no. The Corporation Act of 1871. You got it. He removed it. He took it out. So now your country, United States, is no longer under a corporation. Trump removed it. He signed that before he stepped out or stepped aside. No, I can say stepped out. He stepped aside, but he signed it. He made sure it was signed. So you're no longer under a corporation act. That means no corporations can control you and tell you what to do and how to live your life. No police officers that are under a corporation, they can't break the laws anymore because corporations can break laws. You're no longer under corporations, so now you have to abide by the law. That's why they call it a corporation, so they can break the law. Did you know that? Think about it. Corporations can do whatever they want and get away with it because you're under a corporate act. No, he never conceded. Never, ever conceded. No. And as far as I'm concerned, he's still the president. Still, the way he was elected in, he still is. Joe was just a figurehead. Okay. The real Joe has been gone for 2.5 years, 3 years. This one here is well, sometimes either it's his twin brother or James Woods or another actor, but they wear the voice modulator. Legal is for corporation. Yes, right. Exactly. Um, what is in the Criminal Justice Reform Bill 2018? Was it in the Criminal Justice Reform Bill 2018? I don't know because I'm Canadian. I don't know. You're going to have to find out yourself, Scott, because you're American. That is why he never pardoned anyone, because he never left. Exactly. You got it now? Lawful is for common law and law people, which is different. Now you guys are getting the story. Now you're figuring it out. He didn't have to pardon anybody because he never left. If he wanted to pardon someone, he'd pardon some people that should not be there. Okay? But he's waiting until the proceedings of other things have to necessarily get taken care of first. But he's going to take care of some people that should never been there for life in prison. None whatsoever, especially Indigenous people. A lot of them were behind bars that never hurt anybody. In fact, there was an invisible FBI agent that supposedly this one fellow was supposed to have murdered him, and they didn't. That's when they had Oka, but Little Bighorn, and uh, they accused this man of being the shooter and the killed this FBI agent. There was no FBI agent. They wouldn't even name his name, but they made sure he's behind bars because they're trying to control the people, the First Nations people. So they made up a fake body or a fake name or a fake death. It was never proven because everybody kept on saying, "Well, who's this FBI agent got killed?" Well, you don't need to know. That means he never existed. You guys get it now? Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of people that will be pardoned. But see, now Trump is still around, but Trump's not going to pardon anybody yet until, in fact, I don't think Trump will pardon this man. I think he will actually have him exonerated because he was proven innocent. Yeah. There's going to be, like I said, there's going to be some changes in it. There are going to be some people that should never been. Why be pardoned? That means you're guilty. If you're exonerated, it means you should not have been there at all. And hello, Susie. Um, yeah, and Nick, nice to see you, my friend. Uh, no, there are people there that that should have been pardoned a long time ago. But again, every president besides Trump never wanted to pardon anybody that they want to see behind bars because it was all planned. I mean, I remember when my good friend here, who actually was one of the military men that was stationed camp at Gitmo, and he watched Obama torture men, like literally torture them, and took pleasure doing it. And even Big Mike, or well, whatever her name is, her name, was there to help do the torture. Why? You know. So and they both were his wife, or whatever he calls it, was just as sadistic, or even more sadistic than even Obama himself. So yeah, yeah. Trump is coming back. I'm not gonna say if it's November, but I will say this: remember the 5th of November. Okay, there's going to be change. on the good side, but there's going to be change. It's going to be a wake up call. Like I got a powwow this weekend in North Vancouver. I'll be there for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, selling my wares. But if anybody's in my region, if you guys are in the BC region, if you're close by where I am, I'm going to be at the Veterans Powwow. I'm going to be helping the veterans out as well as helping them in the grand entry. So yeah, it's going to be a good powwow, and I'm enjoying it. Looking forward to. Would have loved to go and dance at the powwow, but my hip still is not the best, and I'm not going to take a chance and bugger up my hip until it's fixed properly. I tripped and fell on the sidewalk and landed on the a boot scraper off the side of the sidewalk. They had them made. These are an old one that was placed there outside this boot and saddle boot and saddle store, and they had this, and I tripped and fell on top of it on my hip and dislocated my hip. So I had to get it. I had to wait till I got back home to BC. This happened in Alberta. I had to wait till I got back home to pop it back into place. No one would help me. All they'd give me is a painkiller. Not even a chiropractor would help me because I wasn't their patient. It was stupid. So I came back and I had to get it fixed, pop it back in. So he says, "That was freaky. You popped your hip out." So um, you can say, Keith, that we need Trump now. Trump has already been here. He's still here. As far as Canada is concerned, he's focusing on a lot of stuff. He's got people out everywhere, above ground, underground. You can remember now, too, folks. They're still cleaning up what's the mess is left behind under our Canadian province. They're still cleaning up BC, British Columbia. There's still more to do. Um, Underground and Penticton is really bad right now. They're taking care of that area. There's underground tunnels there. There's an underground submarine base in there that got taken out. That was, according to Gene, maybe a month or two ago. Um, so they're focusing on some areas still. They're not done. And Penticton is not very far from us. So they're still going everywhere. They're still cleaning up underground. They're getting the Coquihalla Highway back in shape again, back in pattern. But it's going to take a while. They had to flood. Even though we lost some of the bridges, they had to do that purposely because they had to. Basically, what the purpose of this bridge was to slow down traffic because they can't travel it while they actually take out the Chinese Communist Party submarine bases, and because they're under the ground, there's an underground saltwater or underground submarine base under the Coquihalla Highway and way down below, and Trump took it out. Like, you guys think that we're free? We're not. The Chinese were trying to take over all of our country. So he's here. They're just cleaning up. It's still happening right now as we speak. But when you start seeing our military coming in the streets and they call for martial law, you hear that word carefully. When they're calling out martial law, do not be angry, do not be upset, go home and wait. If they ask you to stay in your house for 10 days if necessary, make sure you have plenty of food um, on hand, plenty of cash. If you got to go shopping, if not later. But they're just trying to keep you in the house safe for the next 2 or 3 days because they're going into every locations to scoop up bad people, even pedos that were released. They're picking them up too because Trudeau released them, and he wasn't supposed to do that. So they're picking them up and taking them away. They're not coming back. You don't return a pedo back to the street. Then you start worrying again. What's going to happen next? It's ridiculous, right? Um, because they're saying, oh well, it's just he's not a pedophile. It's just a disease. He has a problem. No, he's a pedophile. They enjoy it because they themselves were pedophile, and it's just a hereditary, continuous doing it. He took pleasure doing it. If it happened to him or her, mostly men, they're taking advantage of it. So, and the reason why Trump or Trudeau is allowing them to get away with it because Trudeau was a pedophile. So think about it. And he already won 2 or 3 cases of other little girls that he went after, and he paid them off, so it wouldn't go to court and be exposed in the public that what he did wrong. Did you know that? Look it up carefully. You'll find it. Don't go to Google. Google won't give you any answers. You need to use other search engines. Also, a hidden threat. Yeah, down under. Yes. Yeah. Oh, um, like I said earlier, the um Australian, New Zealand, Australia, the has come up with a new idea by having to get your neighbor to turn you in if you are fighting for your freedom or if you're against the government. Okay, so if you're saying, "Oh, I don't believe what your government official is doing," da, 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 then you're considered a suspected terrorist. So I'm going to turn you in. They want the citizens to turn their own neighbors in. Well, that's the beginning of the movie, folks. Remember that movie? Okay, think of that movie that came out, V. Okay, they're repeating the same story. Watch carefully. If you haven't seen that movie, watch it carefully. That was a documentary because it's going to show you what's going to happen. They're giving you an opportunity to understand, and it will happen at midnight. Boom. Right? No boom, but the clock will strike one. And guess what? Down will come England's tower. It's still going to happen. And I have nothing to do with it. But the movie will tell is actually giving you a guideline of what's going to happen. And it's people that are high above in the military that are going to show you and what's going to happen. They don't want no more corporation controlling. That's why. Why do you think there are politicians that suddenly come in and then they're gone all of a sudden? We have a new politician that's unjabbed in Alberta, unjabbed, awoken, very awakened, standing up for the rights of the unvaxxed. Other provinces are going through the same thing. Um, new politicians that are unjabbed and they're standing up for the rights. And then the media, the mainstream media, what they're doing, they're calling them crazy. Gee, I wonder who told them that they're crazy. Wonder who said, "Oh, you got to tell them that they're crazy. They're crazy. They're crazy." No, they're legitimate, and your mainstream media is still told to lie. And then, even though they said they don't want to be charged or they want to apologize for making all these extreme stories, but guess what, guys? You're going to be told the truth. Um, yeah, the World Economic. That'll never happen. World Economic, never happen. That's just a scare tactic again. It'll never happen. If it does, if they try to bring it out for a little brief time, but they're trying to scare people. They want you guys to be scared. They want you guys to be afraid. Like don't let them get to you. It's not worth it. Don't get caught up in it. Okay. Let's see what else is there to clear up the air. Yeah, she's getting rid of it. Let's see. Like I said before, if you want to find me, guys, on True North Stronger free page on my Telegram page. I've Facebook now has new rules, more new rules. And it's harder for me to put. They kicked me out of my own page that I made in Facebook, my True North Stronger free page. They kicked me out for a week. They said, "You can't put this in there. You can't put that in there." Yes, I can. But and then when I went to block the people that try to control it, these are the fact checkers that try to eliminate the word fact checker. Um, they Here's the funny part. Um, I went to find the fact checker, the list on my one page, and it was taken out. Why? Because they don't want you to get rid of the fact checkers because they are your stalkers. And I told Facebook, fact checkers are stalkers. That's illegal. Did you know that? Fact checkers are stalkers. You can be followers, but if you're telling people what you can or cannot do, that's a stalker. Or they report you, that's a stalker. That's illegal. Everyone knows that. It's a law. Scott Moe told Trudeau to get lost. Yeah, it's true. He has. So, pardon me. Anyways, um, anything else, folks? If you guys want to know, let me know. Ask me questions. I've got a little bit of time with you guys. If you have any questions you want to ask, uh, because the next couple of days is going to be an interesting day. We're also going to be on the Gregorian calendar, so it's going to change. And also, we're going back in an hour. Our change is this Sunday. The Saturday or Sunday, they're going to change the clock again, an hour difference. So I think it's going back. Yeah, so we'll gain an hour. Yeah. So how'd you like the book? I didn't get a chance to read it yet, Corlin. I really appreciate the book. I didn't get a chance to read it yet. My wife did. She got through a little bit of it. I have been so busy. I haven't had a chance to read. Normally, I'll grab something and I'll read it, but I haven't because I've been focusing on getting all my stuff going out. But most likely after when the powwow is over, I can spend some time sitting down and do some reading. Let's see here. Um, yeah, but I really appreciate your book. It was fantastic. I love it. Saskatchewan does not change its clock. Now, Keith, I know this, but there was actually a bunch of Saskatchewan farmers that had the guys that show up with their hazmat suits and they're doing some dumping of whatever was inside the water, and they're trying to make it where the cows they were making sure that the farmers could not sell the beef because they were putting something in the water, and they basically trying to prevent from that. And you got to make sure that you got those guys, let the farmers know to band together and stop these idiots from trying to poison the water. Um, what about the return of Quetzalcoatl? I do not know about that. Sorry, I do not know about that. I could not put it down. Yeah. Yeah, Quetzalcoatl. I haven't heard that name in years. So I think isn't Quetzalcoatl a part of the Machu Picchu? I know. I will say this: there was Elvis Presley had this symbol. I think it's the very same one, the Quetzalcoatl symbol on the back of his outfit, and that was for the prediction of the calendar. If that's correct, if I'm correct, no, I'm not sure. And that was going around for a long time. Okay, allegedly awakening from underground in Florida. I will say this, yeah, you guys in Florida had that your water table went down so low it went dry when you had that storm. That was crazy. Even the sharks were swimming down the street in Florida. Yeah, that was funky. I'm watching this video and this guy actually there was a shark. I mean, a real shark, big one, and it was flooded so much so big that in the street the shark was actually going down the middle of the driveway, and here's a car our truck coming this way and the shark's going that way in the truck. It was funny. And somebody said, oh, that's somebody put that in there. No, it's real. The shark, the waters rose and the shark came into the city limits. So yeah, it's a flooded area. That is actually funny because you got there's your truck and there's a shark. Then you can start playing that music to like the challenge of the 4x4. uh, it wasn't a great white. It was a smaller shark, but it was fair size. But it still got your attention. But that would be kind of cool. Put the music in the background, Jaws, you know, and then the shark just passed by the truck. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's Florida. And then I got friends in Florida that have there that well, I'm not sure if they went back yet. They're originally from Canada, but they do have a house in Florida. They were still here at the time when that hurricane happened, but I don't know what area that they lived in the Florida region, so I'm not sure if they lost their house or not. So it's hard to tell. I'll have to call them up and find out how they're doing since then. That's been a while. Yeah. So let's see. One of many. Yeah. Um, well, yeah. Trump has already been back. He's always been here. He's been here all the time. In fact, he's been doing a lot of his presentations on platform for months, weeks. Still doing it. In fact, where was the last one he went to? Was that? Oh, I don't remember now which one he was at. Probably okay. Scott's not here, so I wouldn't know. But Trump's been out there all the time doing his thing on the platform. But you can tell when Trump is there. You can tell when the real Trump is on the platform because if he's not wearing a tie, that's somebody else. Yeah. So, but if he's wearing a red tie, that's the real Trump. Blue tie, that's the people say it's cloned, but actually it's another person in disguise. And then no tie, that's sometimes JFK Jr. playing him. So it depends. Where's Aussie? It's gonna be interesting how it all happens, and you get to see all the things that you get to see all the truths down the road. You can see exactly what society has done to all of us to make us believe to that we're let's put it this way: all of these presidents of every country had people believing that we're still pioneers, that we're not that far in the future, that we're still struggling to get to a planet. We have been on planets for freaking years, and Mars has been occupied, Venus has been occupied, the moon's been occupied, and not by the astronauts that were supposed to be on that moon or at the very beginning of the 50s and 60s. They never were there. That was just a play. But there are other people that were on the moon after that, long after that. The first flag that was planted on the moon was the Freemasons flag, not pardon me, not an American, not a Canadian, not Chinese, not Russian. It was a Freemason flag that was placed on the ground first on the moon. Okay, it was a Freemason flag. That was the first one in the ground. Then down the road, that's where the corrupted presidents came in and they start coming in and doing their own thing, and that's what they did. They start taking over and landing in. So they were trying to create their own um, NWO, go figure, all over the world and even in the planets. So, but it never happened. That got taken care of because Trump has a special galactic federation that is legitimate. Yes, no, I don't know if it was a hockey stick. All I know it was actually a Freemason flag. I won't know if it was a hockey stick. If it was a hockey stick, it'd be crazy if it was. Absolutely nuts. Yeah. Which No, actually, a Freemason flag being on the moon does not legitimately make what country. It was just an organization. So, oh, we're on the moon. Yeah, and at least what's his face never landed on the moon first. You know. So, um, what else we got here? I think we're good for the night. But, folks, like I said before, I want to appreciate you guys coming on the program, having to see what I talk about. Please share this with everyone. If you want to find me, if you want to get readings, I mean, I do psychic readings. Those are that are new or not new. But if you want to get a reading, you can always go to whiteskycloud.com, make a call, get an order, and make an appointment, get a reading. Or if you want to know more about what I do, please join the Telegram. Download the Telegram app and find my page, True North Strong and Free. But I'm also my own name, hashtag or at White Sky Cloud, and you'll find me there and join in my group. And I can pass you on to so many cool people from different groups, JFK Juniors, Trump's people, because they legitimately want to see you succeed. Make it happen. And that's what we're trying to do. We want people to be comfortable with their future, not to worry about their future. This is what has been trying to do for the longest time. Be comfortable with. I mean, like, don't be afraid. Like, just look forward to enjoying your freedom. But you have to really just basically let it ride a little bit longer. I know it's real pain in the rear end. A lot of people say, "Come on, it's over. Let's get this over." It's not what you see above the ground. It's what's underground. And once we take care of that, then we're fine. Once they clean up for what's left underground, and it was a real bitch in Africa. Holy crap, man! There were so many tunnels down there. They do some major cleanups. It was worse than even Canada. They thought Canada was bad. We had the worst of it, and Africa had so many tunnels and extra tunnels that he had to go through, and so many soldiers lost their lives going through those tunnels because there were aliens and reptilians down there. There were some bad ones, really bad ones down there. A lot of soldiers lost their lives. So, guys, pray for their families. You guys don't realize that these guys were not just sent down to, explore the tunnels. They're down there to clean it up, to get rid of all the bad ones that have been actually taking people out. This has been going on for a long time. Yeah, stay protected. Good days ahead. Rest and get well better. Yeah, good night. Thank you guys for being on the program, and I really appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys next week. In the meantime, in the between time, as we would say, another edition of Between Two Worlds, Shadow Chasing, and I'll see you guys later. And God be with you all. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Everyone lives, everyone dies. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is there war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Alright, isn't it time? Wanna stop time? Isn't it time? Mother, stop crying. Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. With one hurt, with one need, we all we gotta learn to live together. Peace, in peace, in peace, alright. Peace, together. Peace.